What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we get started, I gotta go ahead and say thank God King Jesus for another day and another opportunity. And as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today, man, I got a very rare Catfish Ballhawk build in store for y'all on NBA 2K24 on next gen. Now, this build, out of all NBA players, it's going to be reminding me of legend Penny Hardaway. Now, we're going to be making it at the height of 6'8" today, which is definitely one factor. And as far as for our animations, we're going to be able to get all of the upgraded Pro Dunk packages, upgraded layup packages with Pro Dribble animations. Now, as of Season 2, we're going to be able to get 9 bronze badges, 20 silver, one of those being posterizer, 14 gold, with 10 being Hall of Fame. Now, those are going to be Interceptor, Acrobat, Scooper, Pro Touch, Giant Slayer, Comeback Kid, Post Fade Phenom, Spin Cycle, Two Step, and Floater. Now, this build, I'm telling y'all, from the offense to the defense, one of the best I am absolutely bringing to y'all this year. And my favorite thing about it today has definitely got to go ahead and be the build name. Now, getting into the attributes, we'll be able to get a 99 plus when it comes to our driving dunk, layup, post control, mid-range shot, ball handle, and steal. So look, before we get any further into this video, if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family, and last but definitely not least, comment down TG for thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with a response. So the first thing that we need to do with this build is leave it under the point guard position. Getting into the height, I'm going to raise this up a few ticks to 6'8". As for our weight, it's going to be best to put this down to 185 with a wingspan of 7'5". Now, with these attributes and numbers, this is what we should be looking like moving forward. So from here, the first area that I do want to get into is going to be the physicals. So once we check out the speed, go ahead and put this all the way up to an 81. As for the acceleration, I like this best at a 73. Now for our strength, I'm going to leave this at a 45. And then for the vertical, I'm going to go with a 78. Now when it comes to our stamina, go ahead and put this to a 93. And this right here is what we will be looking like for the physical end. Now look, we're also going to be able to get a +4 from the Gatorade facility workouts. So these numbers are going to read a 97 stamina, 82 vertical, 49 strength, 77 acceleration with an 85 speed. Now let me know, what do you think of the physicals on this build? Is there anything that you would do to make it a little better? Now getting into the playmaking side of things, go ahead and put your pass accuracy up to a 75. Do not go anything lower than this. I feel like it's going to be crucial. Now as for the ball handle, I'm going to go with an 85. And then for the speed with the ball, I'm going to put this to a 75. Now we did unlock a good amount of badges for this area, and I'm definitely going to be sure to get back into them once we complete this build to 99 overall. Now getting into the defensive end, for that interior, go ahead and put this up to a 65. For the perimeter, I like this best at a 60. And then to wrap everything up on this floor, go ahead and put the steal all the way up to a 95. Now that's going to give us all of the badges that we want, especially one being Interceptor. Like I said, you can make your own adjustments to your own liking and playstyle for this build. For that offensive rebound, make sure you leave this at a 26. Everything for this archetype is very specific. So once we go ahead and get into the shooting, go ahead and put that free throw up to a 75. Moving on to the 3-point shot, I like this best at a 78. And then moving on to the mid-range, go ahead and put this all the way up to an 86. And for this build on the shooting end, this mid-range game, I'm telling y'all, very deadly. Once you get that sharpshooting takeover or buy your own boost, I'm telling y'all, the 78 is going to be more than enough to hit effective and consistently with. Now once we get into the finishing, go ahead and put your post control all the way up to an 85. Moving on to the standing dunk, leave this at a 35. As for the driving dunk, I'm going to go with a 90. And this right here, I'm telling y'all, really is going to allow this build to be one of the best catfish out there. Now for the driving layup, I'm going to go with a 91. That's going to bring our close shot up to a 71. And this is what we're going to be looking like once we complete the build, maxed out at 99 overall. So as you can see, with the finishing, some of the badges that do stand out to me are Gold Slithery. We also get the Hall of Fame, like I mentioned earlier. Before this end on the driving dunk, I like Silver Posterizer. We also get Precision Dunker with Slithery and Bunny. Now for the post control, this will allow you to get Unpluckable on Silver. Gold Dream Shake, I'm telling y'all, on a 6'8 build, I use this on my 7'2, and I'm able to break ankles inside of the post. So imagine what this type of archetype is going to be able to do. You also get Silver Hook Specialist, Hall of Fame Post Fade Phenom. Getting into the shooting, you have even more badges like Open Looks, Midi Magician, pretty much everything that you could be a deadly threat, and especially from the mid-range game. Now once we get into the 3-point shot, you'll definitely be able to hit outside. I like Agent 3 on the bronze tier. We're also going to be able to get a lot out of the playmaking. I like Silver Break Starter. From there we're also able to get Bronze Relay Passer, Special Delivery. Before the ball handle, Gold Ankle Breaker definitely makes a huge difference. We get Blow By, Handles for Days, Speed Booster, Killer Combos, Triple Strike, and then to wrap everything up on the defensive end, the badges that I like are going to be first, Gold Glove, Gold Right Stick Ripper, Hall of Fame Interceptor. For the badges as a whole, I think this is one of the most all-around complete builds that you can make. Now I really want to know your thoughts and opinion on this archetype down below. Is there anything that you would personally change to try to make this build a little bit more better? Now one thing that everybody should really take a look at also is going to be what we're able to do out of the playmaking. This is going to allow us to get all of the dribble packages needed to be effective. Now as far as for when it comes to the shooting as a whole, I think this build is going to be better than most because we have a very high mid-range, and just personally from guarding people this year, the mid-range is more effective than it's ever been compared to the 3-pointer. Now besides the fact, you're able to use multiple playstyles with this kind of build. For example, if you're more of a post type playmaker, you can definitely do so with dribbling, posting your defender up, and then when it comes to the mid-range game, if you end up having a taller defender on you, it's going to be a pain trying to guard this build because of how high of a rating we have. Now if they do decide to guard up too much, step back and hit that 3-pointer, for this build as far as for the free throw, we're pretty much able to take it into any game mode, and that is one of the main factors that I was focused towards. Now make sure you do not go anything lower than a 75 pass accuracy. This is really crucial to still maintain a rating higher than other builds, but still able to be the main ball handler on any team. Now for the interior and perimeter, with this 95 steal, I'm telling y'all, I really think that this rating is going to make up for these two. Now for the physicals, remember you do get a +4. I really think that this is one of my favorite catfish lockdown builds that I brought to y'all. But from here, let's go ahead and move forward to make sure that everybody made the build correctly. And if you followed every step, we should be able to get these 3 comparisons. And as y'all can see, together, we have created the best catfish ballhawk build in NBA 2K24 on next gen. Now if you went about it a completely different way, I would like to know in the comments. As far as for this build maxed out, we'll be able to get a +4 from buying our own boost, +10 from the takeover boost, and the additional boost from gear and playing well throughout each game. That's at least a +15 to 20 depending on the way that you look at it. Now before we get out of here, I just gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family. And last but definitely not least, comment down TG for Thank God King Jesus and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with a response. And with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.